How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about how being too cheap can actually harm your health. I see this too often when people look at my videos and they go, oh, I want to be financially independent. They want to retire early. And in order to get there, they scrimp like crazy. They're as cheap as possible on everything, including food items. Now, I speak from experience because I definitely push a little bit too hard sometimes. And from my experience, I want to tell you guys the pitfalls you should watch out for so you don't push beyond that boundary, harming your health. This video is brought to you by Rocket Money. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. I tried this app and used the lower my bill feature. You guys already know that I lower my bills to an extreme level. And if this app is able to lower it even more, that's saying something. My AT&T internet service bill. It's $65 a month and there's no way for me to lower it any further. I submitted my bill and a week later, they were able to obtain a $20 off one-time credit to my bill. Just the fact that it can do that and possibly reduce your recurring monthly expenses makes trying this app a no-brainer. You guys know I really dislike monthly subscription, and Rocket Money can help you cancel those as well. It can safely and securely identify any recurring charges and help you cancel those with just a single tap. No need to spend an hour on the phone or hunt down a cancel button on a website. It can do all of that for you. Rocket Money is trusted by over 3.4 million members already, so why not give it a try? Head on over to rocketmoney.com/beatthebush or click on the link down in the video description below. Try it out for free and unlock more features with premium. Let's take, for example, free hotel shampoo and conditioner along with the soap. Now, it seems fairly harmless, but think about it this way. Every time you try a new hotel shampoo, you have to figure out if you are allergic to it, if it's low quality, or if it has bad ingredients in it. It actually doesn't always show all the ingredients on this tiny little bottle. So every time you use what appears to be free or it just comes with the hotel, you're actually experimenting on yourself. You are doing a trial run of this particular product. And if you go to plenty of hotels, you got to try a new product every single time. This is particularly dangerous if you go to lower quality hotels or hostels or whatever, and then they use really, really cheap products. This is as opposed to just using your own products that you're used to. You know there's nothing wrong with it. So instead of saving $1 and using the free stuff, you just use your own instead. Let's talk about free food or really, really low price food. An example could be like 25-cent max or something. Personally, this is really hard for me to ignore. Whenever I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cheap. On the surface, you know fast food harms your health. And after about my 30s or so, I started noticing that after every time I eat fast food, I would just not feel well. Yeah, when eating it, it actually tastes really great. I've noticed this for a really long time, and yet I ignore it and I just keep on eating it. The justification is I'll only eat it if it's really, really cheap. Therefore, I'm not going to eat it that often. But now I'm realizing that even if it's free, I really shouldn't even eat it because it's just garbage. Let's say you save like $5 versus cooking your own meal. You'll probably pay more than $5 in medical costs. Let's talk about expired food here. Some people are more robust against this. They can eat expired food, no problem. For me personally, I've noticed I've had issues even if it's like close to a month of expiration. I just don't feel so well. For example, nuts go bad after 1 year because there's oils in it and it just goes rancid. I've had an instance where nuts just taste just fine, but then I had a reaction after that because they went bad. So the question with expired food is, number one, is it edible? Does it taste good? Does it smell good? And are there immediate problems after you eat it? Obviously, if there's immediate problems, then you would likely throw those away. But there's a bigger health question here. If you chronically eat expired foods, is there gonna be a long-term health effect? Will you maybe get cancer or something because you keep on eating these foods that might have went bad, but not so bad that you have problems right after? Now let's talk about discount grocers. Sometimes they buy almost expired fruits and vegetables from other grocery store and then they sell them to you. It could be like dollar stores where they sell extremely cheap meat and vegetables. Sometimes you don't really save money, even though let's say avocados is like 50 cents per avocado. You buy 10 of them and you can only eat 1 or 2 of them before the rest went bad. You could have just as easily buy 5 really, really fresh avocados and then you can eat them all. So I'm not a fan of discount grocers, but I'm sure there's smarter shoppers out there where they can spot something that's relatively fresh at the discount grocer, so it will last longer. Not going to the doctors because it's too expensive. This is a serious issue, and said person might have been trying to save up as much as possible. Maybe they're trying to retire early, so they're pushing really hard, and they go, okay, let me push off this going to the doctor thing because it's going to cost hundreds of dollars. You really shouldn't be saving on this, because if this issue gets really bad, it would cost a lot more in surgery fees and other complications. I want to give a very clear example of cheaper foods that could very well cause you problems. I went to the store one time and I saw mung bean noodles for sale, right? One of them was like $4. It's like, wow, $4 for like 8 or 10 pieces or something. And then right next to it, there's something a lot cheaper. It's only $1.99. I'm like, whoa, it looks exactly the same. Why don't I go for that? But then if you look at the ingredients, there are like weird extra ingredients added to it. I have no idea why, but all the cheaper ones have this weird chemical in it. The main one that's more expensive, the only ingredient, it's mung bean. So they're not actually using mung bean in their noodles. They're using some other kind of starch and then some chemical to make it taste more like it or whatnot. Maybe it's a preservative. Although I never had a bad experience with this, I am pretty certain this is not good for you. Another example is cheap fish. I used to buy this stuff called swai filet nuggets. It's like the cheapest of the cheapest fish. It tastes great. When you eat it, it's very fatty, and it was like only 97 cents per pound. You might think, well, it's a fish. How bad can it be, right? It's farmed fish. The feed that they give these fish has forever chemicals in it. That's why it's so cheap. They mix it in with who knows what. The fish itself is super fatty, therefore it absorbs a lot of these chemicals. They farm it in unsafe conditions where it's overcrowded. They put all kinds of antibiotics in it. There's a reason why it's so cheap, and you have to question, how did it get there? Is it safe to eat? Store-branded fish and shrimp is another toxic seafood. I don't even know why they're able to sell this stuff, because if you look in the ingredients, sometimes it would say that they add sodium tripolyphosphate. It's a chemical. Do you want to eat this? It's a water retainer. It makes shrimp and fish more firm and glossy. It's also an ingredient that they put in detergents and soaps. Personally, I've had a bad reaction to this. I've had this feeling where when I had too much of it, maybe the seafood was bad or something, but I felt a little drunk after eating it. And every single time I have any seafood with this particular chemical, I just didn't feel so good. So now I look for seafood, if it's frozen, anything without this tripolyphosphate in it. Usually the fish that has this particular ingredient, it's particularly cheaper. It's like half the cost of regular wild-caught salmon. Why is it so cheap? Take a step back and think about cancer rate. The company that makes it, it's still making money. In the United States, it's buyer beware. Many products on the shelves are not safe for consumption. It's up to the consumer to educate themselves, and sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and not cut your food costs extremely low so that you're buying really low quality ingredients. I hope this video helps you guys live a long and healthy life. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more.